Alright. We're gonna finish off the stream very soon. I was just thinking of finishing off with like one last segment. Uh, because I feel like one of the most, or some of the most some of the most common questions for me in the stream is like, what mains have I had over the years? Why do I main Peach? Why do I main this character? And for like the other Smash games and stuff as well. So I feel like it could be a good idea for me to like go over like all the Smash games and what characters I have mained in the past and why I decided to main them. Some of the games obviously will be a bit more in detail, like Melee, since I played it much more. But I will also talk about like PM, 64, and Brawl. So like in Smash 64, I actually started off maining Yoshi. One of the main reasons I mained Yoshi was because he was one of my absolutely most favorite characters and like all kind of like the Nintendo series. So I mained Yoshi for a long time. Really fun character. Yo, Darren Serial, thank you for the sub, dude. Welcome to the Armada. So yeah, I mained Yoshi for a long time. Really fun character. Then I went to actually like multiple years after, because this was probably back in like 2000 or something. And then in 2007, I went to a Melee tournament, and they had a Smash 64 tournament. And I hadn't played Smash 64 for many years. And a friend of mine, he loved Smash 64, and he told me to play Falcon. And then I started playing Falcon, and the thing is, I was just trolling people. I was doing forward throw into Falcon Punch, and that was like my to-go combo. I always wanted to do forward throw, Falcon Punch. And my friend, he was just laughing his ass off because people are like so surprised that forward throw to Falcon Punch actually does work sometimes. But then eventually I realized how crazy the combo system is in 64. And since I already played Falcon, I just kept on playing him. So Falcon is my main character in Smash 64. I'll try to see if I can play some with Wizzy at when I go to Florida. I actually really like 64, and I rarely get to play it. So it'll be really fun to play against one of the best players in the world at that one. In teams, I do play Luigi quite a bit though, because his up B is killing so early, and team combos into up B is crazy. Then for Melee, I actually started off as the Pikachu main. And the same thing here, like with Yoshi, like Pikachu is also one of my absolutely most favorite character. Yo, Mental Eclipse, thank you for the sub, dude. Welcome to the Armada. So yeah, I started maining Pikachu. I always loved Pikachu in the anime for Pokemon. Like I remember seeing one of the commercials for Pokemon before it was like released or airing on TV in Sweden. I was like, Pikachu is just such a cool character. So in Melee, I started playing him, and I always used like the red cap. It reminded me a little bit of Ash's cap. So I was like, yeah, let's go for that one. I mained Pikachu for quite a while, and then at some point I moved over to Marth and Sheik. It was probably just because the characters felt like they were fitting me, and maybe even back then I realized that Marth and Sheik was fucking good characters. So I played them for a while, and I had 3 friends I played with in like 4th and 5th grade quite a bit. And one of them actually started maining Marth, and one of them started maining Sheik because of me. And then I started playing Peach in like 2003 maybe, and this was the Nintendo Championship. Like some of you guys might have seen like the Nintendo World Championship that happened. Like we had that in Sweden, and it was multiple different games, and Melee was one of these games that almost always came back at some point in the tournament. during the years. And I saw this guy play Peach, and down smash gave like 60% on average because the opponent always crouched. So I was like, oh damn, like 60% for one move every time? That's crazy. I should main this character. Because back then I was like, if I saw like one move or one strategy that was busted, I was like, alright, that's my character. But yeah, of course, eventually I figured out that it's not always the case. And eventually heard about crouch cancel and like all of that. So, but yeah, I kept playing Peach for a while. And then at my second or third tournament, I started playing Marth because of EK. The Marth player, he was the best player in Europe for quite a while. And to this day, he was like my only real big inspiration for Melee. Corey DJ is a second. He's also like a bit of an inspiration. So I played Marth for a while, but I realized eventually that my Peach was still like as good as my Marth, despite not playing her nearly as much. And I realized a lot of the untapped potential with Peach. So I was like, wait, if Peach players in America can get like top 8 and sometimes even top 4 while doing like 3 moves, I was like, I should be able to make it to the top. That was actually my mentality. And I also wanted to prove people wrong about Peach. And that's been like my main character obviously for the past like decade now, which is crazy. And I picked up Fox, or actually Young Link, but that was only for HBox because Peach Puff sucks, and I was like, you just want to have a surprise character for HBox. Because the thing is, I couldn't never ever practice against Puff in Europe, so I was like, I just want to have a character that will surprise HBox as well. And I was like, Young Link seems to be alright against Puff, so why not try it out? Why not try it out? And I also wanted to prove a point because a lot of people, they're like, if they haven't seen something, they are never ever gonna believe it. As soon as they see like results for like a very few sets being in one favor, they jump the bandwagon right away. So I was like, I wanted to prove for people that a character that no one had seen at the highest level could actually beat like one of the absolutely best players in the world. So that's one of the reasons I picked up Young Link. A lot of people actually told me it was a stupid idea, and then after a few matches, they were like, oh, this matchup is unwinnable for Puff. And I was like, that's how fast people change opinion in Melee sometimes. So, for me, it was partly picking Young Link because of the surprise factor, and partly to prove a point. And then Fox was more like, Young Link, I still believe Young Link is alright against Puff, but he only served the purpose of playing as HBox. And no Puff ever wanted to practice against me. And HBox only got better and better in the matchup. And HBox believes the matchup is in Puff's favor, which might be true actually. But even if it's like roughly even, HBox plays only Puff, and I only played Young Link for him. Like in 2012, 13 and stuff, and 2014, I played Young Link maybe 4 or 5 hours every year. That was it. Like, that was the practice time I got against Puff. So it was not really a solid strategy going forward. So I decided to try Fox again eventually, and it was for sure the right decision. And I also played Fox against PP and Leffen. PPMD on occasions, and Leffen pretty consistently. But yeah, so that's like the melee characters. In Brawl, I made Kirby and Squirtle for like a week each maybe. Because I was just doing random fucking up tilt combos and people complained about those characters being the best here in Sweden. And then I went on to Sheik, and that was like my only true main character in Brawl. The one I actually was sticking around with for a while. And the reason for that was because I felt like Sheik was one of the more similar characters to like what Melee was like for me. So the way you could play Sheik in Brawl, it reminded me a little bit of Melee. So I played her the entire time I played Brawl. Uh, I got like 17th at Genesis 1. I actually didn't even really play the game. Uh, it was more like, oh, I want to see if people were good at the game in the US. And then in PM, I only mained really like Pit while the game was like still big. Uh, the backstory to this is actually pretty funny because I was going to a tournament in Denmark, King Funk's Castle, and like back then even more, Leffen was like he always liked to like talk about himself and like being a bit cocky and all of that. And at some point during that stay in Denmark, he said that he believes that he's probably the best PM player in the world. And I was like, that's a pretty bold statement since people don't really haven't really played many tournaments at all in this game. And at this point in time, I had like played maybe half an hour of PM period. Like I never played the game. So I was like, all right, all right. Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, as Barney Stinson would say. So I was like, the day before the tournament, I was like, all right, I need to find a main character. And I did not want to play Peach because partly people are not going to see it as impressive because, oh, you already main Peach, blah, blah, blah. You already know the character. So I was like, all right, no Peach. I want to have a new character. I want to start fresh. Like I main Falcon in 64, Peach in Melee, Sheik in Brawl. So I wanted to have a new character here as well. And I went like over some of the characters. I played 1-2 matches with each character, and eventually I got to Pit, and I saw the moveset, and I was like, all right, this character is gonna be like probably at least top 10 in the game. Like I didn't know for sure. Like there was like 1 or 2 matches into playing PM. I hadn't even like going over all the characters. I played like 10, 15 of the characters. I was like, all right, but Pit's moveset, recovery, I was like, this character has to be amazing. Like, it's no way Pit is not top 10 currently. So, I decided to play Pit, and the tournament was getting closer and closer, and Level was beating me with like 90% ratio, and friendlies maybe. 90% I would say. And that kept being the case until we played in winners finals of the tournament. And I was down 2-0, and I'll make a clutch comeback to 3-2. And then in grand finals, I beat him 3-2 again. And I actually remained undefeated in sets for like 2.5 years after that. And the first tournament I ever lost was like Skatar to Emo Killer. But that was like, yeah, no, it was more like 2 years actually. Leffen played Lucario, 2.1 Lucario. But yeah, so that's like how Pit started. And then I really liked Pit's aerials, and like the Swedish Sniper was like born from that character. I actually sometimes miss playing PM. It was actually pretty fun. A pretty busted game with like, it was actually too easy to learn punish game in that game, but still. Yo, Smash Bracket, thanks for resub, dude. But yeah, that's like my history of characters in the different Smash games. So I hope you guys enjoyed that part of the stream as well. I haven't seen Nintendo speedrun target test, but I'm actually like top 25 in the world at target test. I have like 3 minutes 9 seconds something in